Okay, so this is day 13, 14 and 15. I lumped them all in. Had a double night shift for work on the weekend, so I tried to fit all the training I could in, but I did slack off a few exercises just because I ended up getting a little bit of pain in my back, and I knew the shift was going to be long, so I've actually still kind of got it now. It's a bit lingering. I think it's just sometimes it's hard for me in this kind of process of, I guess, rehab to go through the ups and downs. Like, it's never going to be straight progression. There's always going to be some setbacks, whether they're weeks long or days long. Hopefully this one will just be a few days long. But so this was actually before I did the shift. So this was the one I sacked off a few exercises. So I did my warm-ups, those Supermans, which are pretty good, and then had some cleans and front squats. And I think it was my last set of cleans. To be honest, I was a bit tight before anyway, but there is a level of like having to work through a certain level of pain. So I wasn't trying to think about it too much. But yeah, the last set of cleans didn't really feel great. I thought, I'll just give the front squats a whirl anyway. And then when I was doing the front squat, I don't know why front squats just never feel as good for me as back squats. Even my starting position here isn't as good as I'd like it to be. I'm still a little bit flexed in my back. But yeah, this set here of the front squats, I probably just need to strip the weight down again, to be honest. But just in that bottom position there, just didn't feel great, even though the weight's still moving. So I left it there, and then just got some clips from work. So just up a couple hours north, or an hour or so north of Sydney. And it was just a re-rail. So basically what that means is we take the current rail off. So unclip all the rail. Big machine will come and take the weights off, take the rail off, and then put new rail in, weld it together, which is what the boys are doing here. And then we just clip it all back up, basically, and you do it like part by part. But these little things they've got on the side, basically what they do is they pull the rail together to a certain length. It's called de-stressing, but basically what it means is because the rail grows and shrinks when it's hot and cold, you need to pull it to a certain length depending on some formula they use to make sure when it grows there's not too much rail in one place, because then it'll kink out and you can get like a defect there, I guess. So yeah, de-stress that, and then they weld it together. This is just them knocking off the weld, and then once they've done that, they got this big machine, or not a big machine, you hold it with your hands, but it just basically sits on top of the rail, and it's got like a blade on the bottom, I guess, and you just run that back and forth, and it grinds the steel down, so it's obviously nice and smooth. And then this is what I was talking about with the clipping up. So basically just stick this little applicator on and pull the clips in, but you got to put a bit of effort in, and it's a lot of work with your back somewhat rounded and a lot of rotation and stuff. So other than that as well, you're standing up for, when you do those shifts and you're laboring here like I am, it's pretty like hard graft for 20-30 minutes, and then 20-30 minutes of not doing much really. So, or like setting up, and there's little bits you can do, but yeah, so try not to sit down as well. Good practice not to sit on the rail, I was always taught. So yeah, that kind of definitely took a bit of wear on my back. But so I had the Sunday, so that session I did, the first one with the cleans, was on the Saturday. Then I worked Saturday, Sunday, so I didn't do anything on Sunday. And then this was Monday. So added in a box for these drop snatches, just to give myself a target. Well, obviously I'm still getting coached, so coach added that in for me, which is definitely good. It's a bit weird coordination wise to kind of coordinate yourself around it, but just stood a little bit close to the box. Stuff like this is good because it's giving you an external constraint to focus on something, rather than a cue, which can be easier sometimes. So good coach will be able to use both in different areas. I think with these muscle snatches, I was like pulling around my body, need to keep it a little bit closer. But yeah, it was a muscle snatch into a hang snatch. But yeah, back felt fine at this point. The muscle snatches, I'm definitely kind of pulling around my body and need to keep it a bit closer. But obviously, it's good things to work on for the future. Yeah, even with my starting position here, I'm still just struggling to get my lower back out of being rounded, and I think that's just because when I have periods where, like I did the night shift on the weekend, or when training gets a bit heavier, I just lose the ability to have that control element over my lumbar spine, basically. So again, don't think it's too much of an issue considering the factors, but obviously compared to previous sessions I've done, not as good of a starting position as I would like. Excuse me. And then I put an extra 5 on in the end, and I probably shouldn't have done that because I ended up, when I was doing the muscle snatches, just kind of starting to initiate the pull with my arms before the bar had actually hit my hit your hit point or whatever, hit the contact point. And then obviously I think, like, from a mental standpoint, that probably comes from me thinking too much about pulling with my arms than focusing on executing the bottom half of the lift and then finishing off with the muscle snatch. And then I had some back squats. I actually just went too heavy on these, but I did one set and I felt pretty good. My squat actually feels pretty good. I definitely feel like the movement pattern itself is much better for me at the moment, but then this one just kind of set my back off a little bit, so I left it there. And then got home, smashed a bit of Rubik's Cube, and see you tomorrow.